Okay, I'm going to very briefly explain the animation that I have done here. It's not fantastic, but it's a nice little idea. Just going to play it through there a little bit and just let the cache load up there. Okay, we're done fine. Just get about 30 frames in just so that we can have a look and see what's going on. So there, pull it back. Okay, there's the idea. It's kind of like smoke or fog or whatever it is that you want to do. And the setup to this is relatively simple. There's a couple of nodes in there. First of all, you're going to have a media in, okay? So we'll take, that's your picture, your media, and you want to, you kind of want to decide in advance what type of a picture you want, because you have to think in terms of perspective and, you know, the way things work in the real world, or whatever, imaginary world, it can be up to yourself. So just give a media out there and we just have a look and see what that looks like. Okay. So you're going to bring a transform node in there just to increase the size of that to what you want it to look like. So the very basic is it's just a FastNoise. Okay. You plug it into your media and you get your merge. Okay. And just okay, so we're going to increase just the size of that till you just get and see what that looks like. Okay, it looks absolutely horrible. And you want to make it look anyway realistic. You have to bring a mask into it. Okay, so there's a polygon mask. So you have to think of it in terms of 3 dimensions. What exactly are you looking at here? So the background is going to look different to the foreground in terms of atmospheric perspective. Okay, so can how to explain it. It's going to look lighter. If you're walking through the countryside, things in the distance fade out a little bit. The color is more uniform. You see less detail, particularly in fog, and that it's going to look a lot. It's going to look like that in the real world. You're going to have detail to the foreground, less detail to the background. So we put our FastNoise background here. Okay, it looks horrible again, right? Horrible edge, horrible look to it, etc. There's a lot of fiddling around to kind of get it to look the way you want it to look. So I'm not going to go through all of that here. I'm just going to give the very principle on this side, and then I'm going to talk through what I've done here. Okay. Basic principle here: you up your soft edge. Okay, so that it's not going to sit cut. Like I've done a terrible cut, and you would have to do a lot of changes on that. That in itself looks absolutely terrible. So you're going to have to sit and work through a much nicer cut. But that's your basic principle. You're putting that in the eye of the viewer to the background. Okay. Now, what just changes this a little bit is your FastNoise. So what you're going to do is you bring up your seed rate just a little bit. Okay, you can see it changing there a little bit on the left hand side. And you can bring the detail up a little bit if you like. It just kind of, it depends exactly on what type of shot that you want to do. And when we pull that back, we're just going to play it. Okay, and we just watch on the left hand side here. See it loading up there a little bit. And we just let it go to there. We'll bring it back. Okay, that looks horrible. It depends on what you want. That might be what you want. You might want something appearing and it looks like that. But that's your basic of your FastNoise. Okay, and within that FastNoise, you can animate it moving along. So if you got a breeze moving the mist, it's going to move from left to right, or it can, because of different heat, you know, in the environment, it can be rising up, or it can be coming over the edge of a cliff, and it can be rolling down, cascading, or whatever. You can change that with just a very simple animation. Turning it on there, moving along to here, and just moving it along in the X. Let's see what that looks like. Just move it very slightly, pull it back. It's barely moving at all. Another way that you can do that, let me just turn that back and go back. You can do an expression, okay? Point. So you can go in here, time, say divided by 100, okay? And we'll go back. And we can see already that's moving quite fast. That's going to move probably too fast when I do it here. Yeah, okay. Stiff breeze. Okay, so the lower you go down, sorry, the higher you go up here, and we'll go up to 400 there. And come back down. I can already see it slower. So seed rate is probably a bit too high there, so it's kind of just okay. That is how you work that. So as I say, it's you got to sit with this and kind of work it out yourself as to how exactly you want it to look. I spent quite a while on this one on the right hand side, just getting it to look exactly the way I want it to look. Okay, so we'll ignore that completely, and we'll go back to the original. I'll put that over to one side. Bring that over there. Now, so let's just go back to that one. Your media out here. Okay. That's your polygon, just like I had on the previous one. That's the background fog, okay? And in the FastNoise, the detail is fairly low, and I can't even say that word. Seed rate is very low, okay? And it's moving very, very slowly, okay? There's a very, very soft edge on that polygon. And we can see here on the right-hand side, it just happened to work with this particular photograph that I took, is that there's a darker image here, and it just depends on whatever image that you're going to use yourself. I felt it would just look nicer that way. I kind of give a sense of depth to the whole picture. Now, behind that, I wanted it to look very, very slightly different. So I plugged in a background, okay, with a polygon that is practically identical to the one that we had, even though it's just a little bit different. So I'll just show you the difference that makes. Yep, I want. Okay, so you can see that it's brightened up the background, makes it look a little bit more just like an ordinary photograph, which is not what you want. This is the FastNoise in the background, so we pull it out. Okay, so it doesn't make a massive difference, but it makes enough. Okay, so if you're just going to have this foreground fog or FastNoise, it doesn't just look quite as realistic. It nearly just looks like there's a little fog machine on the left-hand side, just feeding it in. So we'll pull that back. Okay, so you see that. We Control Z, put that background FastNoise in again, and just let that load up. Sorry, this is very slow to load up. Just to give you an idea, put it back. It just looks a little bit denser, I suppose, is the way you might put it. Color the FastNoise, very simple, into the color tab. Color 2, leave it at white. Color 1, leave it at black. Just leaves a nice little tinge to it. This is a little mask over a black color, just to differentiate the foreground from the background a little bit more. So we pull it out, see the difference. You can tell, well, obviously you can tell it's a photograph, but you can see it leaves a little bit of an atmospheric difference there. So it kind of deepens the whole kind of effect a little bit there. Just show it to you again. Bring that out, bring it in. That's a straightforward mask. It's just a triangle mask. Nothing to it. It's not inverted. Nothing. That'll be the invert. You know, I don't think that looks great. So you'd leave it like that. If you don't see any change, obviously when you do that and that, you're going, what are you doing? When you just press rewind, when you just press play, you're more drawn to the fog and to the cars here, as you don't actually stop and think about the dark background looking dark or light. Okay, that's what you see. Again, this is your foreground FastNoise. This is probably the most important bit. The detail is up very high. I'll just put up to there, that FastNoise there. plus. Put that on alpha there so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so it's masked. Okay, that's your mask. Go back and press play. That's what you're seeing there. That's your FastNoise. That's what it comes out as. When you tint it a little bit blue and you set it forward. Oh, I can't remember. This was explained to me by somebody when you put in this little expression. It's like going one frame. If you write in time, it's moving forward a certain distance, one frame at a time, and it goes far too fast. So if you divide that up, say a frame by 300, it'll move nice and slow. Don't ask me how it works. That's the explanation that I was given. Gives a nice effect. Again, with all of these things, you got to experiment. It doesn't matter. You could have a hurricane going on here, and that's what you want. You want it moving in very fast. Polygons, again, just watch the levels up and down. Okay, that's too much. That's too little. Leave it there. That's quite nice experimentation. This rectangle here, the level's on full. If you pull it back, that's what you're left with. So all of these things, you need to experiment with them. At the very end, I put in this color curve, which is just in the blue channel, just to increase it a little bit. We'll pull it out there till you just see a massive difference. Okay, there's just a little bit of a difference. More for the foreground. Okay, just to make it look slightly more realistic. So it's not the most difficult setups in the world. It's really actually very straightforward. You've got two FastNoise nodes running at slightly different rates and details, two different polygon masks on them, a background polygon mask to make it slightly darker in the background, and then 1, 2 just differentiate the foreground from the background, and that's really it. There's nothing really more to it. That might not be of any help to anybody, but I'll look back at this and go, oh yeah, I remember how to do it. So that's enough for me. Okay, thank you for listening.